Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for today's video because I have the new release from Nomad. This is the Royal Europe eyeshadow palette and I'm flabbergasted. There are multi-chromes in this palette and I had fun playing with it. Before we jump into it though, if you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below, hit the bell for notifications, new videos, and if you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. But if you want to see the swatches, the eye look, how we came up with that, just keep watching. Okay, you guys, I don't think I've ever been so excited for a makeup release. This is the Nomad Royal Europe eyeshadow palette. Look at this. Just the packaging itself, it's actually like a 3D effect. Look at how crazy that looks. It is absolutely stunning. I like the intricate cutouts and the layered effect that it has on it, but it is the coolest effect on this. When I saw it on Instagram, you really couldn't tell, and I was like, oh, that's kind of like a boring package. But looking at it now in my hands, this is actually one of the more like intricate eyeshadow palette designs that I've ever seen. They're each a layer of cardboard, or yeah, I'd say cardboard, but each a different color to give this effect, which I think is the coolest. I've never been so like in awe of a package, and it's not even like over the top shiny and blingy. It's just cool and interesting. Now, if you've been here before when I've unboxed Nomad, you know I really like the story and details that they put into their palettes. So along with the eyeshadow palette, I also got this little card, and it says, "Inauguration of the newest Nomad palette by command of the royal family. The Earl Marshal is directed to invite you, our special community member, to be present at the reveal of the most recent launch in the Nomad Cosmetics Destination Gallery on this day in the year 2023. Signed, Norfolk." Which is funny because I'm in Norfolk, Virginia. But it is actually the coolest little like detail. I don't always keep the postcards and whatnot, but this one's actually quite interesting. And then there's some details and tells you about the destination, which is Versailles to Buckingham, a collection of royal palaces and castles span across Europe, each full of family jewels, palatial rooms, and heirlooms of bygone eras. Uniquely different in their expansive estates, imposing architecture, and precious treasures, they all are impressive destinations that create a sense of awe and inspiration. Color Story's Jewels and Gems fit for a royal collection of 10 luxurious mattes and opulent jewel tones of amber, emerald, sapphire, amethyst, and ruby, highlighted by 5 dazzling new multi-chromes that add a spectacular ornate touch. Oh, and this one is supporting UNESCO World Heritage Center that protects and preserves precious heritage sites around the world. That's actually really cool. So there's also the details for the palette itself, always in postcard form. That is really neat. I love Nomad and the different palettes that they come up with and the stories behind them, and they're just so elaborate before you even open the palette. And I'm excited to see the color story. I've seen it online, but as we all know, it can be very different in person, and they are quite stunning. So this is the color story. Very beautiful, very vibrant. I'm very interested in these 5 shades right here. And multi-chromes. I don't think they've done multi-chromes in the past. Oh my goodness, you guys, the swatches for this palette. The matte shades are absolutely stunning. They swatched so smoothly and buttery and smooth. I just cannot wait to jump into them. But these multi-chromes, oh my goodness. The shade Royal Treasure is like a magenta to like scarab green or gold. I don't even know, it's playing tricks on my eyes. The other multi-chromes like Bleu de France is like a purple to blue. These are so stunning. I cannot wait to dip into it. And then of course, looking at the pressings of the shadows themselves, you've got the palace, the crowns, you have just the jewels in here. They are absolutely breathtaking. I'm so excited to jump into this palette. I have never wanted to play with the palette so much. This actually reminds me of the Danessa Myricks palette that I just picked up. That was very expensive compared to this palette. If you've been looking at the Danessa Myricks but didn't want to pay that price point, this might be the palette for you because oh my goodness, they are so buttery smooth and I'm excited to play with it. Okay, very hard decision because I really want to play with all of the multi-chromes, but I think I have a decision. Now, looking at the shades in here and looking at how the palette is set up, it looks like whatever multi-chrome you use, the line above it is what you're supposed to pair it with, or just a generalization, because it looks like those colors kind of are cohesive enough that they would work together. Now there's a couple shades because they're multi-chromes that you might be able to pop in there, and they've also got similar qualities. So I think I'm gonna do the Bleu de France line right here, and then I might take one of the other like darker shades to just zhuzh it up a little. The first shade I'm gonna use is Hall of Mirrors. This one I'm gonna put into the crease in the outer corner, lower than the upper portion of my crease, just because starting with a darker shade, vice the lighter shade, because I want that to be the more pigmented one. That is one dip in and it's pigmented. This shade is so stunning. Just the color payoff. And I'm barely dipping in. Your shades are so pigmented and so easy to use. To be honest, I don't think there's a palette that I've used from Nomad that I've been disappointed in. They have a beautiful color story. I just love the concept behind it. They definitely do their research when they put these palettes together. And it makes me want to travel so much more, which I need to plan another trip. I have a trip coming up soon, but it's not the trip I would plan for my transfer, because usually I will take a vacation in between like duty stations, but we have to finalize some things with my grandma's house. So we're gonna go back and take care of that. And I think in August, in the summer, we have some friends that we're gonna go and do a couples trip together. If you like getting the updates on grandma and everything that we do, let me know down below, because I'll do some updates. It's just trying to get everything situated. But we have some things we gotta finalize. All right, so I'm starting to get a shape, but I do want to use the lighter shade to just kind of blend out the edges. I'm gonna go into this light blue shade, Palace of Versailles, which when we went to Paris, my sister, her boyfriend and I, we took the train from Paris to Versailles, and we didn't go inside. The lines to get inside were astronomical. It was just ridiculous trying to get in. We decided to just tour the gardens, and just the gardens themselves were beautiful and elaborate. We had a good time doing that. So I want to go back to Versailles and actually tour the inside of the palace. So I'm using my fluffy crease brush with the light blue shade, just trying to blend the edges out a little bit. Okay, so I can see a little bit of a difference. I'm dipping in slightly because I don't want it to be like too overpowering. And oh, see, I just did that. I'm trying to feather it out. But I also don't want it up to my forehead either, because that would be a thing. I'm starting to get it to blend a little bit. I do need a darker shade to just kind of, in the outer corner, just zhuzh it up a little bit. I think I have an idea for that. I'm gonna go into the shade Buckingham Palace, which is that deep, luscious purple. And only because Bleu de France looks like it has some purple in it. So I'm gonna grab my pencil brush, grab Buckingham Palace, and place it in the outer corner, just right there. This may be really pretty, or it may ruin the look. It's giving me like masquerade ball, peacock feather vibes. And of course into the crease a little bit. On a different trip with my ex-husband, we went to London. One of my best friends from high school. We've been friends since second grade. She was living in London with her husband. And we took a trip to go and see London and visit my friend from high school. There's so many places I want to get back to and just explore some more. But I want to. We just kind of walked around and saw some things, and then on our way back, we stopped in Dublin. It was also when we got the polar vortex in Chicago, so I lucked out on that one. You know what? I feel like a couple of my videos recently have all been about traveling. I really like how that is starting to form up. I feel like I need to take it a little bit just right there. I think I'm ready for this multi-chrome. Going into the shade Bleu de France, which in the pan, it doesn't do it justice. It looks like it's tealish green, but then if you turn the palette, it looks purple with kind of like a pink hue. Look, oh my goodness. Do you guys see that on the edges? I am in love. Oh my goodness. I'm also going to pick it up on a dry brush to finesse the inner corner. At least attempt to. I love that their shadows tend to pick up on a dry brush. Especially because the inner corner can be so finicky. Oh my goodness, you guys. I am in love with this. I feel like I need a little bit more of that purple. I need to do some face products and everything else, but I'll be back. Okay, I'm excited to finish off this eye look. It is just the way it is right now, the way the light is catching this chrome, it is beautiful. I'm loving how it is right now, but we need to finish it. I'm gonna start by going into the shade Palace of Versailles. This light blue shade, I'm gonna take it the entire length before I go into the darker greenish shade. So just tapping it into place before I start smudging it out. I love the angle this got. Now going into Hall of Mirrors. This one's just gonna go from this area right here, not completely the middle and just in the back. Going into the shade Buckingham Palace. This purple is absolutely stunning. I love the dimension it gives this eye look. And just right here in the outer corner. Not completely underneath, not too far in. Now I'm looking at the shades and I really want to play with one of the multi-chromes in the inner corner, but I also don't want to like overdo it with all the colors. I'm going to go into the shade Imperial Crown, which is just like a beautiful gold to green. I'm hoping that I'm not ruining this look using this shade, but I really want to use it. And I'm just picking it up on my pencil brush. That shade is stunning. All right, that is not the shade I'm going to put on my brow bone. I am going to go into my Revlon Skin Lights, which is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy dupe. If you can find it at your drugstore, I highly recommend it. It is stunning. Brows, liner, mascara, and lips, and I'll be back with the final look. Okay, you guys, I am back and this is the final look. I'm really impressed by how my eyes turned out, and you guys, this palette is absolutely stunning. Nomad Royal Europe, the color story on it is so beautiful. I love the multi-chromes, I love the matte shades, I love how they performed. The swatches were beautiful, but the application, I'm so impressed by it. The pressings in here, the details, the idea of if you use this multi-chrome, you can use the entire row and that's your complete look. Or I played around with these two rows right here. So you're not limited, but if you're not really sure how to use them or what color story you want to go in, they have a nice layout and kind of an idea for you to use them. I absolutely love Nomad. I know I've talked about it in the past. I only found them last year. I had a couple palettes in my collection already, but I didn't know that they were Nomad. They were sent to me in subscription boxes. I hadn't really used them, and I'm really sad that I waited so long to use them, pick up their palettes. I love the concept and the work that goes into developing a palette from them, because there's a story, there's a location, there's just so many thoughts that you can possibly get, and the details. They are absolutely detail oriented at Nomad, and I really appreciate that. I'm so excited to see what they put out the rest of this year and in the future, because I love seeing the Instagram. They'll put out hints for the next palette and let you guess what it is. I love what they do with their collections, their releases. There's just so much. Let me know, are you picking it up? Have you ordered it? Are you waiting for it to arrive? Were you not planning on picking it up, but this changed your mind? Let me know down below. I will interact with you in the comments. But you guys, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell for notifications of new videos. If you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Until my next video, you guys, bye. I'll see you in the next one.